What are exit polls? That is the big question we are asking today. Okay, it's a small question, but it has a very complicated answer. And for an ex-journalist like me, I am an ex-journalist now. This has been a very fascinating question for me for a while. And I have been following many elections. I have been reporting on many elections. And there are days when you wonder where the result is going to go. And most of the time our predictions are wrong. Just putting it out there. But there are people who do it like a science. And today I have a very special guest. So welcome to Explain Like I'm 10, where we ask small questions with some big answers. The person who is giving us some big answers today is Mr. Pradeep Gupta.
Hello everybody.
Hello, Pradeep. And let me introduce Pradeep to you and Abbas.
Yes.
Pradeep is the co-founder or founder of Access My India. It is a polling and survey organization. It's a research organization. It's a market research organization. And his claim to fame is that he gets emotional on live TV and dances with Rajdeep Sardesai. And that goes viral. Pradeep, how many times have you done that now?
1.5 times.
1.5 times, yes.
Yeah, one time tears were on.
Yeah.
And one time tears was just holding back.
Oh, tears were on, and yeah. But that he cries because he does a job very well. I must say, like he cries whenever his predictions are right. And lately, Pradeep, your predictions have been quite correct, I must say. So we have this guest with us, and he's going to tell us how he does what he does, essentially. And joining us today as our union leader of spectators who had no idea who Pradeep is even after reading his t-shirt. Access My India is Abbas Momin.
Hello.
He's a comedian and now a host of Has It Aged Well
Yes.
on the IVM Podcast Network. And Abbas, what do you think an exit poll is?
So an exit poll is supposed to give you an idea of how people voted before the actual election results come out.
Yeah.
The way I understand is once a voter goes and votes, when they come out of the vote booth, they are asked who they voted for. And depending on what they answer, there is a vague idea of how the population voted for. And this is primarily what most news organizations and news channels fill their airtime with between the polling and the results. And in the last couple of years, the exit polls have been covered with such vigor that it's almost like they are the results.
Yeah.
So in generally, that's what I think an exit poll is. It gives you an idea of what the election results might be.
I don't mind it becoming a spectacle because I get to see Pradeep dance. But Pradeep, was he correct?
He's correct. In fact, more than me, he's correct.
How come?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. He's knowing more than me.
Acha.
What is exit poll all about?
Oh, but no, you tell us what is exit poll. We can't have this one knowing more than you. That defeats the purpose.
No, we try and meet people whom they have voted in particular election, and we do representative sampling. When we say representative, it has to be demographically and geographically representative, because 0.1% of the total universe we sample. That's our sample size. So it has to be so accurately done, so the prediction is going to be accurate.
Right.
So face to face we go and try and meet them and try and understand. Most important, then whom they have voted. What is more important here in exit poll, I would say. Why exit poll? This question may come because people say it is the life of exit poll is only 2 to 3 days.
Right.
Yes.
And in fact, because why we do exit poll, not just to get whom they have voted and what is the assembly or parliament going to be looks like, who is winning or losing, what is the numbers or the seats secured by the particular party. What is more important, why people have voted whomever they have voted. That why is there.
Right. Interesting. Let's break it down a little. This is Explain Like I'm 10 and I've already seen you use some heavy words here and there. तो मैं थोड़ा सा इसको और simplify करते हैं. Tell me, how do you do an exit poll? I'm imagining this. Okay, like as he described it, right? Ki I am a person who goes to vote. Then I come out and there is a dude standing there with a form and a questionnaire. जो वो questions पूछ रहा है and he's like ticking boxes. And then like so many forms are collected. Like say if you are coming out of an exit poll, you have like say 10 forms. Then another exit poll बोल रहा हूँ. They are coming out of a booth and there are 10 forms. Then another booth there are 10 more and so on and so forth. So this representative sample that you say geographically spread out, is that how it works?
Yes, I'll tell you what it is. What is representative sampling? Simple भाषा में बात करें तो जो जिस मात्रा में exist है, whoever exists in whatever numbers or ratios, we need to collect in that ratio.
मतलब
For example, if we have to collect 100 samples, the first demography is that gender. So if there are 50-50 gender, we need to collect 50 of men and 50 of women.
Right.
So that's the first demography. The second one is the age group. There are 6 broadly, described age group, 18 to 25, which we call it teenagers kind of thing from a voting point of view. Then 25 to 35, which is like professionals, middle age group. And then 35 to 50, then 50 to 60, and senior citizens 60 and above.
Right.
So these are the 6, and in right ratios, whatever their existence is, for example, 18 to 25 year of age in the country is roughly 15%. So we need to make sure we do interview and talk to 15 persons who is aged between 18 to 25.
Right.
Oh, so like essentially you do like a so पहले तो you get this data कि इतने एज ग्रुप के लोग हैं वहाँ पे percentage wise, and then you make sure your sample also reflects that.
Yes, and most importantly in India particularly and many states, the caste.
Of course.
The caste ratios is very important, and again 5-6 major castes are there. For example, general, OBC, SC, ST, minorities. So these are the caste groups. So we need to make sure the caste groups also representative.
पर यहाँ पे do you actually ask people what their caste is?
Mostly if you ask the name in India and the kind of experience and expertise we have, with the surname we can figure out who where you belong.
So you avoid a lot of awkwardness.
Of
there.
course we have to.
Yeah, but Abbas, I was wondering, when you described this as a spectacle that is done right before election day, right? Have you seen any of these spectacles, or do you like watch?
I do watch a little bit because obviously curiosity होती है कि election तो हो गया, अब result आने में time लगेगा, देखे तो क्या mood क्या है देश का, that kind of thing. But I mean, more than anything, right? I mean, for the past couple of elections, I have enjoyed the triumphalism of the anchors when they get something right, as we predicted. जैसा हमने दिखाया था in this run side by side visuals of before elections and after elections, as we predicted, ये बिल्कुल वही आया है, and the other side of it, when it comes the complete opposite, the embarrassment of the anchors, which they can't show on air, but they try and skirt around. So we were close, we predicted 40, but they got 60, which is just 20 more. So that is fun to see. So,
ये मुझे actually, this is interesting.
I mean, see, in India, there are only 3 things works. One is Bollywood.
Yes.
2 is cricket, and 3rd is elections.
Yes.
And the reason is very simple. All 3 have some kind of suspense in it.
Right.
So in exit poll, we call it result before result.
Result before result.
Yes.
But exit polls are legal, right? Can you explain that also?
Of course, it is legal. Once the election commission, they ban exit poll. And once the notification is on, so you can't do election 48 hours before the polling opinion poll. But once the vote is cast, you can do the exit.
Right. So one day before the election time.
No, once the vote is cast.
Once the vote is cast,
then
right.
you can you are doing the exit poll.
Okay.
And before that is called opinion poll, which is banned 48 hours before polling day.
What is the difference between exit and opinion poll?
Opinion is person yet to cast the vote.
Okay.
And exit is पोस्ट.
राइट राइट. सो मतलब वोटिंग बूथ के पहले एक ओपिनियन पोल होगा.
हाँ.
और वोटिंग बूथ जाने के बाद जब बाहर आएंगे तो एग्जिट पोल होगा.
वोट पड़ गया मशीन में, वोट बंद हो गया.
राइट
Which is the exit poll.
Which one do you like more?
Of course, exit poll. I prefer to be more precise and safe.
Yeah.
And
I have a
exit poll
question.
Yeah.
Why are opinion polls sort of given the step brotherly treatment? Is it assumed that this will influence the party that the voter will vote for if you ask their opinion of it? कि अगर हमने 10 लोगों को सुना कि वो X पार्टी को वोट कर रहे हैं, तो even though if I want to vote for Y पार्टी, अब मेरा भी मन करेगा कि मैं X पार्टी को वोट करूं.
नहीं, ऐसे तो कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन ये है कि ओपिनियन पोल में पोलिंग बोलते हैं ना, एक रात में बहुत ताकत होती है.
राइट.
तो जो पोलिंग डे के प्रायर जो ईव होती है या रात होती है, उसमें बहुत कुछ बदल जाता है.
राइट. ट्रू.
सो एक बार वोट कास्ट हो गया, उसके बाद फिर बदलने के चांस नहीं. सो दैट्स द बेसिक डिफरेंस. तो एग्जिट पोल इज मोर क्लोजर टू द रिजल्ट.
Right, absolutely. And obviously because they've already cast their vote, so it will be much closer.
It doesn't matter for them also once they reveal whom they voted. But of course there is a methodology to ask.
Yeah.
And why they should reveal you their confident vote,
right.
Whom they voted for.
Right.
What is your sample size?
Sample size, as I told you, generally it is, for example, in a assembly constituency, if there are about 100 assembly constituency, our sample size will be 10,000.
10,000. Okay.
So 100 in each.
Right, 100 in each.
So 10,000.
10,000.
Yes.
But I think you had some lakhs. Like में अभी जो हुआ था poll.
मैं आ रहा हूँ उस पे. वो आप बात कर रहे हैं यूपी का.
Yes.
है ना. तो यूपी की बात करें तो 403 assembly constituency.
Right.
Multiply, UP is too complex a state.
Yes.
Too big a state.
Yes.
Population wise very dense, so there we have to increase our sample size. So there we do 200 assembly constituency. So by simple logic of that is 80,000 plus. So we end up doing something like 1 lakh plus in UP. And in general election, which is Lok Sabha election, we did 7,42,000
7,42,000
sample size for 543 parliamentary consistency.
Okay, holy crap. That's just a mind-boggling figure. Let me process. Okay. Yeah. So, but how? Is the question. How did you manage to do this with 7 lakh people?
Our team is there, and we have more than now 1,500 field force, we call them. Field force. And we have
field
people,
force.
And we have people even in Andaman Nicobar.
Oh, very nice.
So they go and meet people. We first try to understand the kind of problems they are facing. And then we ask whom you think is most likely to address them. And they say whatever they say. And we say whom you are likely to vote if it is not voted. And if it is already exit poll, then whom you have voted. And whatever they say, and we simply say, is there any particular reason you voted for this? Then why is there? And that why gives $1 million and $1 billion of worth insights. And whoever is coming in the next government, they pretty well know why they are on that particular chair.
Interesting. So, but aren't you afraid that people are lying to you?
It is the case, but which is, I would say, not more than 2%, which is fairly, and 2%. We accommodate 2%. But it is also depend how you are asking.
Right. So tell me, if say Abbas is.
So it's like when you are trying to make a girlfriend, you have to say something, right?
Yeah.
And most of the time you may fail.
Yeah.
And sometime you are likely to succeed.
Okay.
So we'll have to follow that sometime route,
right.
And make sure you don't get, backfire on it.
Can we try this, Pradeep? Can you ask him some sample questions?
So, Abbas, how are you? आप कैसे हैं?
जी बढ़िया हूँ.
आप को क्या लगता है कि आपके यहाँ पे क्षेत्र में आप क्या क्या समस्याओं का सामना करते हैं रोज़मर्रा के जीवन में?
रोड्स बहुत ख़राब हैं. जब मैं काम पे आने के लिए निकलता हूँ या कहीं भी जाने के लिए, तो कई बार मुझे 1-1.5 घंटे पहले निकलना पड़ता है क्योंकि सड़कें ख़राब है और ट्रैफिक हो जाता है. पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट भी मुश्किल से मिलता है. बेसिक समस्या यही है, बारिश हम रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं, बाहर बारिश हो रही है, तो अब मेरे दिमाग में चल रहा है कि जाते वक्त कहीं फ्लडिंग ना हो जाए, वो फ्लडिंग की वजह से चीज़ें और फिर ख़राब हो जाती हैं। तो ये बेसिक कुछ
तो आपको क्या लगता है इसके लिए कौन जिम्मेदार है रोड के ऊपर और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए? कौन इसको ठीक कर सकता है आपको लगता है?
जो कॉरपोरेटर्स हैं, म्युनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशंस की जो बॉडीज़ चलाते हैं, जो कई बार ये होता है कि वो बना तो देते हैं रोड, बस एक बार बारिश गिर जाए तो फिर ख़राब हो जाता है। तो अगर रिस्पॉन्सिबल लोग आएंगे उन पोजीशंस पे जो ऐसा मटेरियल यूज़ करेंगे जो लॉन्ग लास्टिंग हो, तो उससे डिफरेंस पड़ सकता है।
इस तरह की समस्या आप कितने सालों से फेस कर रहे हैं?
मैं 34 साल का हूँ, मैं इस कंपनी में 4 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ। तो जब से मैं काम कर रहा हूँ, तब उससे पहले से तो करीब 10-15 साल।
और आपको क्या लगता है कि कॉरपोरेटर का वोट आपने आखिरी बार कब दिया था?
ये तो मुझे याद नहीं है, शायद 2015 या 16।
क्या आपको ये पता है कि उस समय आपने जिसको भी वोट किया था वो पार्टी आज म्युनिसिपल की सरकार में है?
नहीं, वो पार्टी नहीं है।
अच्छा, यानी आपने जिसको वोट दिया था वो हार गए?
जी।
तो आपको क्या लगता है कि इस सरकार ने तो हालत ठीक नहीं की जिस हिसाब से आप बता रहे हो, तो अगले आने वाली सरकार आएगी ऐसी आपको उम्मीद है?
जी।
तो अब जो ये चुनाव हुए हैं,
हाँ,
उसमें क्या लगता है कि आपने किसको वोट किया होगा और उम्मीद के साथ किया होगा कि आपकी ये जो समस्याएं उसका निदान हो जाएगा?
हर बार तो यही उम्मीद करके वोट करते हैं, लेकिन कुछ होता नहीं है।
फिर भी इस बार आपने कुछ तो उम्मीद रही होगी और उम्मीद पे ही दुनिया टिकी हुई है।
हाँ, वो तो सही है। तो जैसा मैंने कहा कि हाँ, उम्मीद तो यही है कि जब ऑफ कोर्स जब इस दफ़े जो हैं कॉरपोरेटर, अगर वो ही फिर से खड़े होंगे तो हम उनको नहीं देंगे वोट, क्योंकि उन्होंने ज़्यादा कुछ किया नहीं है।
इसका मतलब जो अपोजिशन पार्टियां आपने उनको इस बार चाहोगे?
हाँ,
और आपको उम्मीद है कि वो शायद ठीक कर दें इस
उम्मीद तो है यही, पर बहुत ज़्यादा उम्मीद नहीं है।
नहीं, उम्मीद तो जैसे मैंने कहा ना, उम्मीद तो करनी पड़ेगी क्योंकि आपके पास कोई चॉइस भी नहीं है।
जी, अभी जो कर रहे हैं उनसे ज़्यादा कर दें, बस वही उम्मीद
हाँ,
है।
उससे ज़्यादा उम्मीद है कि जो अभी है, जो आने वाला है, शायद उससे बेहतर। इसी उम्मीद में आपने वोट किया इस पार्टी को।
जी।
चलिए देखते हैं कि ये नई सरकार आती है और इसके बाद हम आपसे कनेक्ट फिर से करेंगे। आपने अब इस पार्टी को तो वोट कर दिया है। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर ओपिनियन। और हम कोशिश करेंगे कि इसको कॉन्फिडेंस रखें और आपकी जो समस्या है उसका समाधान हो।
थैंक यू।
एक्सेस माई इंडिया से बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत थैंक यू।
जी, माय प्लेजर। आई फील वेरी सैटिस्फाइड जस्ट हैविंग दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन। आई फील लाइक मतलब इसी से ठीक हो जाएगा।
तो ये दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन हैपेंड ओवर द फोन और इन पर्सन?
नो, इन पर्सन इट हैज टू बी, बिकॉज फोन के ऊपर या ऑनलाइन आप अपना जो कॉन्फिडेंशियल मैटर है, क्योंकि उसमें कॉन्फिडेंशियल के साथ साथ उसके जो रिपरकशंस हैं, उसके जो कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हैं, वो बहुत डायर है। इन द सेंस के फियर फैक्टर कि आप बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, जो भी पार्टियां चुनाव लड़ रही होती हैं उनके नुमाइंदे जाके पता करते रहते हैं कि ये किसको वोट करने वाला है, और उसको फिर मैन हैंडल करके और फिर उसको
राइट। This is I would like to tell the audience. So when we were in West Bengal, last West Bengal, there was this factor of fear which you pointed out, which is whenever we went to a person with a camera, right, and we were talking to them, they would give like a, वो जो एरिया का जो गुंडा है उसके साइड में करेंगे, that type of answer, which is like अरे हमको ये पार्टी पसंद है एक्सेट्रा। कैमरा बंद करके सर बहुत परेशान है सर, बहुत गुस्सा आता है लोगों पे, पर कुछ नहीं कर सकते, अब बोलना तो पड़ेगा ना, टाइप्स ऐसे। एंड डज दैट ऑल्सो हैपन टू यू दो?
ऑफ कोर्स, एवरी अल्टरनेट डे आवर पीपल इज इन जेल, इन द सेंस के वो बोलते हैं अननोन है। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी नीड टू प्रूव देम वी आर नॉट फ्रॉम एनी पार्टी, वी डू नॉट हैव एनी वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट, वी आर हियर फॉर यू, राइट। फर्स्ट दे सी अस पीपल विद अ सस्पिशियस लेंस, हु आर यू, आप फ्रॉड करने आए हो या कुछ बेचने के लिए आए हो, और पता नहीं क्या क्या कर लोगे, ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट देख के डर जाते हैं आज के ज़माने में। तो
बट यू रिकॉर्ड?
वी sometime record, randomly record, and we ask them, we take their consent.
Of course.
We take their consent, and we need to establish that we are not from any political party.
Sure.
और कोई फ्रॉड नहीं है, किसी चीज़ को बेचने नहीं आए, आपकी लाइफ को कोशिश करेंगे बेहतर बने, आपकी जो समस्या है उसको राइट स्टेक होल्डर तक पहुंचाएंगे। क्योंकि जैसे इन्होंने बताया, रोड भी अब्बास ने बताया ना, रोड के लिए तीनों गवर्नमेंट जिम्मेदार हो सकती है।
राइट।
3 का मतलब है लोकल बॉडीज विच इज म्युनिसिपैलिटी, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। तो स्टेट हाईवेज अलग होते हैं, सिटी की रोड्स अलग होती हैं, और
National
नेशनल
highways
हाईवेज
अलग
अलग होते हैं। तो राइट स्टेक होल्डर तक जब ये प्रॉब्लम पहुंचेगी तो डेफिनेटली दे आर लाइकली टू सॉल्व इट, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली उनको भी जीतना है, जैसे अब्बास ने बताया ना।
थोड़ा सा एक tangential क्वेश्चन था इस पे मेरा, राइट? आई हैव बीन थिंकिंग अबाउट दिस अ लॉट फॉर इयर्स नाउ, अबाउट डज अ सिटीजन रियली नो who is responsible for what job, and what have you found?
Very good question. So last 20 years, after the age of technology and media presence, now people are taking informed decision making. They pretty well know who is responsible for what. For example, they pretty well know central government is responsible for what. State government for what. They pretty well know, road, electricity, water, education, health, law and order, state government.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And traffic, property tax collection
yeah,
is all municipal, local
yes,
government.
yes.
State of garden, garbage collection, traffic, state government,
municipality.
Yes, they pretty well know now these informed decision making now they take.
Except in South Bombay, it's very fascinating because I hang out with a lot of South Bombay people when I'm in Bombay, and I find they are very unaware about these things. Especially.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
South Bombay, what you referred, is the consistency, Lok Sabha consistency. The voter turnout of South Bombay is 35-40%.
Right.
As against national average is 67%.
67%, right.
So you can imagine whom you are talking. I'm pretty sure, 90% sure, they never vote.
Precisely my point.
So that's the reason why they doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
The ground reality, they doesn't know what's happening.
We did an episode.
They voted for Biden.
They voted for Biden.
Yes, you are right.
This is very interesting. I had an episode before this with a friend of mine, Shivam Shankar Singh.
Yeah.
He also was a data analyst, etc. And we were trying to ask him about why don't people vote, right? I'll ask you the same question, right? Now we know that you're very right, accurate, 90%, 100% right, that the people I'm talking to, they don't vote.
Yeah.
Why do you think that happens, and how many times have you encountered situations like these?
I'll tell you, electing the government is also a kind of decision making one takes, right? And what drives your decision making is your needs.
Sure.
So if you are dependent somehow the other with government, you will make sure you vote because your livelihood is depend on the government.
Absolutely.
So the poorer section of the society vote most. So that is the reason why South Bombay, you know how poor or rich they are.
Very poor people. They sound dangerously poor.
So that's the reason why in rural India, you see the voting percentage exceed 80%.
Yes.
And as you go urban, it reduces. So in urban areas, it is roughly 55 to 60. In metros, it is less than 50.
Right. Even in Delhi.
And the metro. And within metro, likes of South Bombay,
right,
further reduces. So it's all depend how careful you are as far as the government goes.
Right.
Because, you take things for granted. What you will be, needing from the government being in South Bombay, maximum is state of road, traffic, and that's it. Not even drinking water. You have a luxury to order drinking water or the Bisleri pani.
Right.
So that is the reason why you will be least bothered whoever is coming in the government.
Or even to know who is in charge of what. Right?
Yeah.
That is where it comes from. I wanted to ask you, why do you do exit polls? I mean, why did you get into exit polls?
So, there is a story or history.
Please go
on. I
on.
don't think you have enough time for
We
that.
have a lot of time, Pradeep. Go on.
So, two things basically why I am doing this, why I am in this profession. My father was a freedom fighter.
Okay.
He worked with Gandhiji in Varda Sevagram. And I have grown up with all kind of politicians coming to meet him and get some kind of advisory. And he was a poet and writer. So he used to even write a bhashan for the local politicians. So that is always there. And when I was growing, the number, I am so fascinated with number. Every time I used to come after appearing in the exam, and you know, in calendar, the wall calendar, there is a small place called दूध का हिसाब के लिए थोड़ा जगह छूटा होता है कैलेंडर पे, right?
वो पुराने वाले कैलेंडर, काल निर्णय,
yes. So there I used to write today chemistry 65. Meaning out of 100, I am likely to get 65. Then physics this much, then maths this much.
एक second, you announced your marks to the entire household.
Household, like particularly to my father. And when mark sheet used to come, I used to show him an identical matching.
Oh wow!
He used to exit poll his own marks.
So
this is a betting man right here.
So number is something, it is in my genes, everywhere number. Even if 2 o'clock in the night, even if I am having headache, and if you give me calculator and some problem which is numeric problem,
right?
My all disease and everything is will, you know.
Sir, आपने ना gambling में कितने पैसे खोए exactly?
Gambling में मैंने कमाए हैं.
Who am I asking?
I have never lost in 3 पत्ती.
अरे
तीन
क्या बात है? Guys, note this. If this man ever comes in front of you, do not.
So, and my exit poll prediction track record is we have till today called 57 elections so far in last 8 years. And out of 57, we have called 53 most accurately.
Oh damn, that's nice. That's a great score right there.
So
yeah. But what happened in the 5?
4.
4, sorry.
So there are different reasons.
I'm not good with numbers.
So that is different reasons in all 4 cases. In Tamil Nadu, in 2016, we failed. That time we couldn't collect the woman sample size in right ratio. That was the beginning. And secondly, in beginning, you know, you have so many other problems like language. You need to have the person who can speak in Tamil language fluently, and that is when they trust you and they reveal you. So we could not meet in women voters, and women is the one who made all the difference when Jayalalitha came victorious and she repeated the government. So that was one. Second was the Karnataka in 2018. Though our vote share was right, but somehow we mistaken in seat share.
Okay.
It was bang on matching the vote share, but seat share was reverse, BJP and Congress. So that was the second time.
Why did that happen then?
That is something when it is so close, like 38% and 36%.
Okay.
That was the case. And in Karnataka particularly, you know, southern Karnataka, which is called Old Mysuru region, there are 60 seats where BJP had hardly any presence in the past. So BJP, whatever vote share was coming less, the reason was very clear that because they have almost no presence in this thing, and that is where we mistaken. Because Congress vote share was coming more, so we predicted more seats for Congress and less seats for BJP, and that is where we learned lesson.
Okay. And the other two?
Other two was the Bihar 2020,
right,
where it is in the backdrop of full COVID. So there also, I mean, Tejasvi party secured 115 seats and BJP 125, 10 seats. In numeric term, it was 5 seats here and there. 5 seats turn here, then 120, 120.
Right.
So like that.
Oh, so like whenever there are, from what I understand, like I think the first one, if you excluded, whenever there is like a close contest, then it becomes a problem.
Natural.
Yeah. But I think you have predicted the 2019 elections.
That was bang on. In fact, that is the case study in Harvard Business School.
I know, and that's where it's coming from. So
it was, everything was matching. All the states were matching.
Yeah.
Identical vote share, seat share, party different, so many parties. everything was matching ditto.
It's actually very interesting because that is the one with the 7 lakh.
Yes, 7 lakh.
7 lakh, yeah. There's a newspaper article that I was also reading where the Harvard is studying essentially that exit poll result to find out.
And they call it operational miracle.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it had never happened in
Can we talk about that a little bit actually? Because after the break, though, we will talk about this. Because I really want to know the story behind that crazy 7.5 lakh, whatever sample size election. I will see you after the break, my friends.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. I hope you guys are checking out Has It Aged Well on the IVM Pop feed, what used to be IVM Likes. I know it's complicated, but it's well worth your time. This week, Abbas and Urchita revisit Sanjay Bhansali's 2002 offering Devdas. Joining them for this conversation is die-hard SRK fan Pulkit Kochar. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav discovers the connection between the iconic rock band Led Zeppelin, the children's classic Chronicles of Narnia, and Harry Potter. On This Round Is On Me, Gauri talks to chef Thomas Zacharias, founder of the Locavore. He shares his views about greenwashing, plant-based meats, and the concept of sustainability. On Think Fast, Varun and Suchita discuss Tesla's new Optimus robot, Trevor Noah quitting The Daily Show, and a whole lot more. And on Varta Lab's storytelling session, Akash and Naveen's conversation takes a political turn as they are joined by friend and fellow stand-up comic Puneet Pania. Guys, go to our website, ivmpodcast.com. You can check out the merch store, also links to all of our social media stuff, which is at IVM Podcast. Also, do check out our YouTube channels. We have a number of channels with many of your favorite shows available as full video podcasts. Finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Volvo XC40 Recharge, Bumble, Heads Up for Tails, and HDFC Mutual Fund. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Welcome back to Explain Like I'm 10, where we are asking the very important question today. What are exit polls? And with us is Sir Pradeep Gupta.
Don't call me sir.
Sir Pradeep Gupta, extraordinary dancer. And now we have found out also a gambler for some reason. Access My India. And we have Abbas Momin. Yes, Abbas, are you having fun till now?
A lot of fun.
Yeah, do you have anything to ask him yet?
I do. So the conversation we had, the sample conversation you had with me, in that you didn't ask me which party I voted for, right? I am still finding, because I remember when I was a kid and I remember my mom went to vote and she came back, or curiosity example, mummy kisko vote diya? My mother wouldn't tell me who she voted for. कि तुमको क्यों बताएं, हमारा vote है.
True.
So how do you gain that confidence? Do you feel like you have to egg people on to tell you, and is it a compulsion for every person to tell you which party they voted for? Can they answer the rest of the questions and not tell you?
Not at all. In fact, in metros, if we knock 10 doors, we end up doing 3 to 4 successful interview. And urban cities, smaller cities, 2-tier, 3-tier cities, ratios goes 5 to 6. And in rural India, it is 7 to 8. So not necessarily that all the people, in fact, in metros where you belong to,
Yes.
rate is only 30%. So
Right.
70% time people will refuse to talk.
Right.
Sometimes they will abuse also. Get out, why you are here? This is my confidential matter. Why should I tell you? So all these things we need to face, and our team is trained for this. So we call it military type of functioning and a sports like thrill. You have to get the information, the data like a military person. You have to go through many hardships, the mental, the physical, and then you collect the data. And it is also important whether this data is true enough, authentic enough. So that is all kind of thing. The selection of the right field force, training them, making them work in real sense is something, the part of our Harvard Business School case study. That whatever we predicted and result, that is the result. The question is how you got very close or same result, and that's the question.
But what is it that you consider a successful interview then? Like, was the Abbas interview successful?
Successful where you have successfully got the answer for all the questions.
Okay.
Which is the successful interview.
Okay.
In between, then partial interview. And these sensitive question. We ask in the end, and we have a strip of actual symbols printed onto our tablets.
Right.
And we actually ask, people are reluctant to say something, but the way they do the button tapping on a booth machine, the voting machine, we ask them, please इसके ऊपर ज़रा हाथ रख दो ना. I know कि आपको तकलीफ है, but इसको किसी भी तरह रख दो, because ये हमारी रोजी रोटी का सवाल है.
Oh, that's interesting. So basically, the person who is also there is maybe not seeing what they're doing, right? Or they're
Yes. So he's a
that's fascinating. That's one way to get an answer from say him, who did you vote for?
बता दो, इतना क्लियर हो गया रूलिंग पार्टी ने, तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फ्रे में एक या ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा दो और पार्टी होती हैं, तो उनको फिर एलिमिनेशन बोलते हैं. एलिमिनेशन करना है कि अच्छा ये बता दो कि जैसे इन्होंने बता रहा है मैंने रूलिंग को तो नहीं दिया. अच्छा ओके, अपोजिशन में मे बी 2-3 पार्टी इन द फ्रे हो, बॉम्बे की बात कर ले तो पूछेंगे कि अच्छा ये पार्टी कैसी है, तो वो आप जो भी बोलेंगे अपने मुंह से उससे समझ में आ जाएगा आप कितने उसके प्रो हैं या अगेंस्ट. तो ये सब ट्रेनिंग का
very fascinating. You know, interestingly, now that you mention it, so I was working in Sikkim with the SDF, Sikkim Democratic Front. It's a small party with like 3.5 lakh voters back then. This was 8 years ago. I won't name the company. We went to this pollster and we asked him, how do you do surveys and whatever. So he had a form. Physical
that time
form.
It was form.
Yeah, physical
in earlier
form.
days it was physical form.
Yeah.
Since 2070 we turn into electronic tablets.
We also he had a form. He gave us a sample form. What we did was we got like these very cheap tablets, like very cheap. वो Micromax वाले आते थे ना, वो वाले. And then we uploaded basically a Google form on it. And back then the Google form was also in this primitive format, etc.
Right.
And we made this whole survey thing going. So we had hired about, this was a party survey. They had no system before this. So we hired about like 200 kids from colleges. We sent them out across the state to collect this data. And what we realized was that it is not easy.
It's very difficult.
We were like, tablet दे देंगे, जाएंगे वो, भर के आ जाएंगे. एक तो their sensibilities were so different, so we had to change our questions constantly till we got the accurate result. But then again, when we got the accurate result, we had no idea if it was accurate. Everybody would say that we would vote for SDF, but then when the actual day came, no. So
I'll tell you, I'll try to summarize this analogy of the sample collection process or for that matter market research. बड़ी देसी भाषा में मैं बताऊँ.
बिल्कुल सर.
हम बोलते हैं कि मार्केट रिसर्च करना इज लाइक कांदा बटाटा खरीदना. कैसे? एक कांदा बटाटा खरीदने का आप तरीका देखिए. एक होता है कि हाँ भाई 2 किलो कांदा 2 किलो बटाटा भेज दो घर के ऊपर, ठीक है, वो भेज देगा, आपका रेगुलर वेंडर है. एक होता है कि आप कार से जाएंगे या बाइक से जाएंगे या साइकिल से जाएंगे, और आप बोलेंगे हाँ 2 किलो कांदा 2 किलो बटाटा जरा डाल दो. आप एक दुकान में गए, आपने बोला ये डाल दो, ठीक है, डाल दिया. एक तरीका होता है जो हम लोग ग्रो हुए हैं स्मॉल टाउन्स में, हम्बल बैकग्राउंड, छोटी फैमिली से, कि एक जो वेजिटेबल मार्केट होता है, डिपेंड ऑन सिटी का साइज़, 500 मीटर से 1 किलोमीटर के आसपास होता है. 500 मीटर ज़्यादा करके होता है. तो वो क्या करेंगे कि दोनों तरफ बैठे हुए हैं वेंडर, दोनों तरफ पूछते हुए चलेंगे, हाँ ये क्या है, जो अच्छा दिखा उसमें से इसका क्या रेट है, इसका क्या रेट है, और पूरा एंड तक जाएंगे. और उसके बाद रिवर्स में जहाँ से बहुत अच्छा था और जहाँ से सस्ता था, उसके बाद भी उसमें बैठ के उसको चुनेंगे, ऐसे करके एक निकाला, ये बाजू में रखो, चुनते हैं उसको. राइट. तो आपने वो खरीद लिया कांदा बटाटा. तो 3-4 तरीके हो सकते हैं. एक ऑनलाइन हो सकता है, एक फ़ोन के ऊपर डेटा कलेक्ट करने का हो सकता है, करेक्ट, राइट, या 2-4 फ्रेंड लोगों को जिसको आप जानते हैं उससे पूछ लिया आपने. और एक तरीका है कि ज़मीन पे जाके चुन के लेके आना है आपको कि क्या चाहिए. उसके बाद कितना आपने 2-2 किलो कांदा बटाटा लाया, अब उसका समय आ गया तरकारी बनाने का. ठीक. तो आप क्या करेंगे? चॉपिंग, क्लीनिंग करेंगे. जो ख़राब पार्ट होगा उसको बाहर करेंगे, राइट, विच इज कॉल्ड डेटा क्लीनिंग।
Yeah.
जो चाहिए ही नहीं था वो आ गया होता है बहुत बार,
Right.
आता है,
छिलका।
और अनवांटेड कुछ खराब भी आता है।
Right.
आपने देखा होगा 10 आलू में से एक तो खराब होगा,
हाँ।
तो उसको कट करके बाहर करना।
Okay.
तो वो आपने 2 किलो 4 किलो लेके आया था, चॉपिंग करने के बाद रफली 3-3.5 किलो कढ़ाई में गया। ठीक, नाउ द डेटा प्रोसेसिंग एंड एनालिसिस, द क्लीनिंग इज डन। देन कितना कढ़ाई में गया, तो अब वो बनने के बाद जो सर्विंग पैन में आएगा, तो 3.5 किलो उधर गया था, अब 2.5 किलो रह जाएगा।
Oh, right, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
देन कितना सर्विंग पैन में और फिर कितना आपकी प्लेट्स में आएगा खाने वालों को, और कितना प्लेट में आएगा और कितना पेट में जाएगा, उसके अच्छा बनने के ऊपर भी डिपेंड करता है।
That's why, friends, this podcast is called Explain Like I'm 10 because we have people like 10 साल के बच्चे को समझाया आपने एकदम मस्त।
I am at 10.
I love how this mindset just happens.
तो अब आप समझ गए कि क्या डेटा कलेक्शन का क्या है। तो आपने पहले तो डेटा कैसे कलेक्ट किया है, उसमें कितनी ताकत है। हम लोगों को जब डेटा आता है तो ऐसे एक्सरे के लिए डॉक्टर कितना सेकंड लगाता है एक एक्सरे देखने के लिए? 5 से 10 सेकंड से तो कम पक्का। कितना भी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड
Because
हो,
trained eye.
उसको, और हम किसी को समझ में नहीं आता है क्या हो रहा है। तो जैसे ही डेटा आता है, वी सी द डेटा कि इसमें जो चाहिए थे वो सारे वेरिएबल्स एंड पैरामीटर्स अपने अपने हिसाब से बैठे कि नहीं, और नहीं बैठे हैं तो फिर उसकी क्लीनिंग करनी है, उसको रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बनाना है। इन दैट सेंस कुछ ज़्यादा है तो कुछ कम होगा, कुछ ओवर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है तो कुछ अंडर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव
पर उधर तो ह्यूमन एरर का भी फैक्टर आएगा,
बहुत सारे फैक्टर हैं। तो वो सारे फैक्टर्स को देखने के लिए भी और भी बहुत सारे पैरामीटर्स होते हैं, अकेला रिप्रेजेंटेटिव नहीं है।
नो, एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली।
फिर उसके बाद जैसे मैंने इनको पूछा कि लास्ट टाइम किसको वोट किया था आप?
यस यू डिड, यस,
राइट, और दिस टाइम किसको किया? लास्ट टाइम का तो रिजल्ट भी नो कि यूनिवर्स के अंदर इस पार्टी को 30% वोट मिला था। यदि हमारे लोग का लास्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर आ गया 50% लोग, इसका मतलब उसका ओवर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव उस पार्टी को जिसने वोट किया था आप ज़्यादा लोगों को मिले, तो आप उनके 100 को भी मिलेंगे तो 100 ही आंसर आएगा वही।
Oh, that's fascinating. Yes, absolutely.
So like this, there are so many variables and parameters. फिर कास्ट में एक पर्टिकुलर कास्ट का एक रुझान होता है, उसका अपना अलाइनमेंट होता है कि आपने वही ज़्यादा ले लिए तो वही डेटा नजर आएगा। यदि 100 सैंपल लिए हैं और आपने 90 से वो कर लिए तो 90-10 आ जाएगा रिजल्ट।
राइट,
वो तो हो नहीं सकता।
राइट।
तो इस तरह के सारी चीज़ होती है जिसको हम डेटा प्रोसेसिंग एनालिसिस कहते हैं, जो कि आपकी फ्राई पैन कढ़ाई में होता है।
राइट। I want to get to the fascinating story of the 2019 elections also. So 7.5 lakh sample size. How was it like?
दिस इलेक्शन, जनरल इलेक्शन क्या होता है, 7-8 फेस में होता है।
राइट।
तो 40 दिन का समय होता है और एक फेस में जैसे साउथ से इस बार स्टार्ट होके कुछ नॉर्थ के स्टेट्स होते जाते हैं, और उस हिसाब से उसमें लग्जरी ये होती है कि यू हैव अ लग्जरी कि जो आज इलेक्शन हुआ है उसका ज़रूरी नहीं है आज एग्जिट पोल करना, कल भी कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा,
ठीक। सो जो आज हुआ वो कल की लग्जरी, क्योंकि एग्जिट पोल के जो रिजल्ट बताने हैं वो तो 40 दिन बाद बताने हैं। तो वी वर प्रैक्टिकली डूइंग एवरी डे रफली 30,000 फेस टू फेस इंटरव्यूज।
How many people were doing this?
And this was about टोटल 1300 पीपल वर्कड। उसमें ये होता है जो गड़बड़ करते हैं बीच में उनको बेंच पे भी बिठाना पड़ता है। 40 डे का सवाल है ना।
I mean it's a management nightmare.
मैनेजमेंट, यस। तो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज ऑपरेशनल। तो हमारे जो पैरामीटर्स हैं वो साथ साथ पता चलते जाते हैं कि इस बंदे को ये सैम्पलिंग दी गई थी, ये तो कुछ और ही कलेक्ट कर रहा है। तो साथ साथ उसकी प्रोसेसिंग, क्लीनिंग, क्वालिटी चेकिंग, मॉनिटरिंग, ये सारी की सारी होती है।
So are you getting all this data real time?
रियल टाइम
From the tablet?
इनफैक्ट पीछे हम सुन भी रहे होते हैं कि जो बंदा इंटरव्यू कर रहा है वो कितने कन्विक्शन के साथ कर रहा है, उसने ए पार्टी बोली कहीं बी पार्टी तो नहीं कर रहा है। तो ये क्वालिटी कंट्रोल के हमारे पीछे 100+ क्वालिटी ऑडिटर्स है, दोज हु आर लिसनिंग ऑनलाइन कि क्या कन्वर्सेशन चल रहा है।
वाओ।
एंड नॉट ओनली दिस, यदि आप इंटरव्यू के दौरान द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन पूछा और लास्ट के दौरान यदि आपने 10-15 मीटर चल दिया है, वो भी वहाँ नज़र आता है कि आपके पैर कितनी आगे और पीछे जा रहे हैं. जनरली ऐसे होता है जैसे आपने कहा ना 4-5 काम के क्वेश्चन पूछ लिए, बाकी सब अपने मन से कर.
Right. Oh,
So
this happened to us.
Yes.
The kids that we sent out,
Yeah.
some of them were so chunt, right? That they एक दो घर में जाके वो collect करते थे. फिर we were paying them 800 rupees a day, right? And they're college students. So we actually caught one of this guy who was just went to like 2-3 hours. We followed him. 2-3 hours his event. Then he just sat down and just started like one after the other. He just started filling it. And the problem is because ours was not real time. They had to get the tablet physically to our office.
Right.
And
We would
then enter.
upload the data, right? But this is actually
So
that's what
why
I was
we have
coming to.
developed all these technology. Movement during interview. For a GPS is a very old thing.
Yes.
So movement during interview also. Okay, he's present there or not. He's moving. How many steps he's moving. So they all 100 plus quality orders. Real time they are watching, monitoring, and doing quality control.
Right.
And whoever is doing jugglery, they sent on the benches.
Oh, that's interesting. So 1,300 people spoke to like 30,000 people daily.
Yes, the 1,300 total, but at a time there must be around 500 to 600.
Got it. Then you basically did these 7.5 lakh people were spread across India, like
Across
all
India,
the
of
places.
course, yes.
All
That's why I am saying ki 1,300 is not working all the time, because in regional
course,
language
phase-wise.
Tamil Nadu is over. Now those whoever is speaking Tamil,
Yeah.
those 30% job is over in less than 10 days.
Yeah.
How much time did it take you to prepare this?
Prepare as in
Leading up to the election. How much
year,
time?
1 year. 1 year prior to this, we start our groundwork. What are the dynamics
Right.
of the forthcoming elections? So we need to map those dynamics.
What do you mean?
Dynamics is in the where the caste is voting, which geography within a state there is always region. For example, in Maharashtra, there are 6 regions.
Sure.
Like Vidarbha, Konkan, Marathwada, Western Maharashtra, Khandes. Like this, there are 6 regions. So region-wise, sometimes the variation may be.
Sure.
Something of what is playing on, what is the बोलते हैं ना कि मुद्दा क्या है. ऐसे कभी महंगाई है तो कभी unemployment है, कभी whatever the prevailing mudda or issue. We need to map that also, and how much it is impacting and whom it is impacting too. Generally you see the you must have heard during UP election that Ajay Mishra, the minister,
Yes.
his son
that ran over.
Lakhimpur
Yes.
ran
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
So point is that how many people got affected and how serious is this evidence. We need to map all those things. We cannot generalize the
Of
thing,
course.
and that is where the market research is.
Of course. Actually, when we went to, you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, so this means that you are also keeping score of what the election promises are, so that you can design your questionnaire based off
accordingly.
of that.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
But also because you have to pick the sample size accordingly as well.
Of
right?
course, a sample size, and we have to do at least 2-3 times pre-poll surveys to gauge this ground reality. What is more relevant on the exit poll?
But that keeps changing also.
That's the reason why we do 2-3. Every quarter we do.
Every quarter you do it.
Yes. And on the election day also accordingly we prepare question, because in exit poll you don't have the luxury of those much time.
Yes.
There are 4-5 important questions, and the first questionnaire is always landing into 30-40 questions. Then it reduces.
So essentially,
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go on.
So, for example, let's say a recent example now, Nitish Kumar has switched alliances, right? So now do you go back to the people who voted for Nitish Kumar's party and be like, क्या आप
of course, we always ask, last whom you voted.
Yeah.
And now what is your this thing?
Right,
So they are going to say whatever they are going to say. This is also one of the dynamics.
Yes, this is a dynamic.
And Bihar is always the case because of Nitish Kumar. In both the election, he has switched the sides.
Now, I'm just thinking like one side switching completely derails their entire work.
Yeah.
Team का work फिर से पूरा इनको करना पड़ता है.
That's what.
But even Shiv Sena here,
Yeah,
for example,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
अभी तो 2 Shiv Sena है. क्या पूछेंगे? अच्छा आप वो fake Shiv Sena,
Sena and Uddhav Sena.
Shinde Sena and Uddhav Sena.
Sena. Now the nomenclature is this way. It's not Sena anymore, Shiv Sena.
Yeah.
It's the Shinde Sena और उधर से
उधर से ना ओ पर फिर जो आपने which you did like pre-poll surveys
so
for
that's what
example.
that is all redundant.
Redundant.
Of course it has to be.
Oh, that must be heartbreaking. But I guess you must have faced so many of these
Yeah,
situations
exactly.
now. It's like, yeah. Okay. I wanted to ask you, how much does it cost? If can you answer that?
I can answer this. So generally, our one interview depend on election case only. It cost 300 to 500 rupees a interview per sample
One
size.
interview.
This
And
is the
this
rate.
includes not only the person who is interviewing, but the quality control.
Everything. This is the rate for you if you come and commission me a survey.
Acha.
Huh.
Can I do that? Can I
You
come
can
to your-
always. You are my client. You can come anytime.
Okay. But
Yes.
so, okay. Let's.
Podcast listeners.
Podcast listeners, podcasting survey, Access My India. Yeah. But I want.
Acha, one more thing. We give respondent the gift also. You said na ki why they should tell you. So we say we are not here to sell anything or get anything from you. We are here to give you some kind of a value proposition.
What gift do you give them?
Sometime keychain, sometime pen, and if there is a logistical issue, then top up 20 rupees, top up 30 rupees,
Oh,
top
damn,
up
that's nice.
instantly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Now you're thinking of participating in it rather than.
No, I have participated in a bunch of surveys, market research surveys. There are all these social media companies that keep doing so. 3 of them have approached me to become a survey person,
okay.
and they gave me like Amazon coupons and stuff.
Amazon.
Same. Okay, so cost wise, so for example, tell me how you do exit polls, but that is not the only thing you do, right? Access
We
My
do
India.
so many corporate this thing.
Yeah,
and our
can you also tell us about
bulk
that?
of the revenue come from the brand survey.
What does that mean?
We have many this thing product and
market
services.
research.
एक है कि consumer sentiment tracker which we come out every month.
Right.
What are the sentiments of the consumer कि ज़्यादा खरीदने वाला है, कम खरीदने वाला है, कहाँ से खरीदने वाला है, कैसे खरीदने वाला, ऑनलाइन शॉप करने वाला है या शॉप पे जाके करने वाला है, क्या खरीदने वाला है, वाइट गुड्स या सिर्फ एसेंशियल्स FMCG प्रोडक्ट्स ही या कोई नया टेलीफोन खरीदने वाला है. सो इट गिव्स द prediction forecasting is everything. Then दूसरा जो प्रोडक्ट है वो है कंज्यूमर ट्रस्ट इंडेक्स कि आज आप कौन सा साबुन इस्तेमाल करते हैं और कल जब खरीदने जाएंगे तो कौन सा खरीदेंगे. So this gives you the loyalty.
Wait, how do you get that? Sorry, what? Okay, how?
Which, from hair oil,
Yeah.
top to bottom, and footwear.
Right.
What do you consume today? In 45, we call it necessities.
Okay.
What do you consume today? आप क्या इस्तेमाल कर रहे हो, कौन सा तेल खा
But how do you know what I'll go for next?
I'll go and ask
You'll
you.
tell him.
You will tell me. Whether you are same like election where you are liking this oil or you don't
Fair
like.
enough.
You are fed up with this.
I
oil,
was
you
like,
are-
okay, sorry, I asked you that question because in my head I was like, ये क्या algorithm develop किया है इन्होंने? Which is like, oh ये data लेते हैं कि इसने आज ये पहना है, कल ये पहनेगा देखना. Like, no, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
so this kind of, and we do market sizing also. कैसे किसी को कोई प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करना है, so उनको ये जानना है कि टोटल मार्केट साइज क्या है, who are the other players, competitive analysis, and then ये प्रोडक्ट यदि लाएंगे तो किस प्राइस बैंड में इसको बिकेगा या नहीं बिकेगा या कौन सी जोग्राफी पे बिकेगा. सो दिस इज कंप्लीट. विदाउट रिसर्च आप चने भी नहीं बेच सकते.
That's
ऑल
also
बिजनेसेस हैज टू बी बैक्ड बाय अ
yeah,
proper market scan.
absolutely, absolutely.
Otherwise you are not likely
So
to be
your
successful.
main source of revenue is that basically.
corporate research.
Corporate
Yes, because
research.
election is once in a 5
But
years.
I like how corporate research gets you the revenue, but elections get you the attention also.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
Election is more visibility because result is going to be
Right.
there.
Yeah.
So that's the thrill is there.
Right. But the methodology for elections versus a market survey are similar?
It's similar. It has to be representative. If I am doing a survey for automobile car industry, then definitely my sample will be skewed more towards the high income group.
Sure.
Who is likely to do. I cannot ask each and everybody like in case of elections. So if I am doing some survey for only women product, I will be asking women product.
Of course. Of
So
course.
women only. That's my sample. So
right.
this sampling depend on the project or the objectives. Everything else is the same.
Same.
And sometimes this can be done a CATI also. Telephonically we can ask these things. And sometimes we have to do face to face, which is called CAPI.
Catty and Cappy.
CAPI, which is computer aided personal interview, which is face to face. CATI is computer aided telephonic interview.
Okay.
And what you have been doing, my friend, in Sikkim is this PAPI, pen and paper.
Oh, Pappy कर रहे थे हम. अभी समझा मेरे को. Pappy is bad, guys.
इसलिए पाप हो
Don't
गया.
do Pappy. Do Cappy. But you know, I find this extremely fascinating because I have followed tons of elections and I have reported on tons of elections, and usually what happens is that in our office we do like board पे betting. Like जो भी इसमें कि ये पार्टी जीतेगा वो पार्टी जीतेगा रे, and somehow for some reason people think that if that journalist is on the ground they'll be accurate, right? So they will predict in the end, right? Last like exit polls,
And most of the time journalists failed.
always. Okay, I have a very bad track record of predicting elections. In West Bengal, I did not predict TMC will win.
Okay.
I mean, I knew that they would be like close to the halfway mark, etc. I did not predict that they would get like this much of a majority, right? Even in UP mein also I thought that BJP jeetega, but not by that margin, right? Why are there so many landslide elections again now?
Because of technology.
Really?
Because people are making consensus. Earlier, one does not have the choice of whom my friend is voting in other city. We don't know. So nowadays, because of informed decision making, the information exists with all of them.
Right.
And accordingly, they make the decision. So if you see, only one will have the hung assembly or something like this. Otherwise, 9s are in clear cut.
That's
mandate.
what. Is
so
this
because of this thing, and people don't want to waste their vote these days, right? Because ultimately they want some work to be done. So until and person वो जीत भी गया जिसको आपने वोट दिया, but उसकी सरकार नहीं आई है, तो बोलेगा अभी मैं क्या करूँ? तो उसके लिए वो बोलते हैं कि भाई जो जीत रहा है तो कंसेंसस बना लेते हैं. आपको घर में भी कोई मुखिया चुनना है तो आप एक दूसरे से बात करोगे. That's the process.
Absolutely.
So same here.
But we have done this for 20 years, you said. How many years have you done this for?
Now?
Now?
From 13 we started, now it's 9th year.
9th year, okay. But you have been doing polling before that also, or like...
We've been doing corporate thing.
Corporate thing, okay. But okay, so like since the last 8 years, right? Have you seen any specific trends through your work that you want to talk about, like which our audience should know about?
See, in any election, the outcome of election is depend on three things, which is the ecosystem of any election. One is the people, they elect. Second is the performance of incumbent government, whom they have elected 5 years back.
Sure.
How good or bad the government performance is. And the third thing is the leader, whom they are going to elect. So this is the three things. If they don't like the performance of the incumbent government and the leader in the fray, then the next obvious choice, even if you are selecting your FMCG product or any product for that matter, if I don't like this, then what is the option available to me? Is that alternate? Is that trustworthy? Whatever I am not happy with this government, is he going to fulfill these gaps? If answer is yes, then I will switch the side. If answer is no, I will remain with the same. कि यार ये जैसा भी है यही ठीक है, चलने दो इसको.
So in a way, what you are essentially tracking in what you just described is how much impact has a political party's quote unquote propaganda had on someone. Messaging, let's not call
messaging
it
is fine, but messaging, again, what you are saying, messaging or propaganda or advertising is all part of packaging.
Sure.
So until unless the product में substance नहीं है, तो packaging is not going to work.
For sure.
So Naveen Patnaik.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No visibility.
Right.
No marketing or promotion. No organization.
Yep.
No visibility.
Yep.
He's winning consecutively fifth term.
Yeah.
Why? Delivery. Performance.
Delivery, yes.
Yeah.
I worked with that party.
So
BJD, Biju Janata Dal.
Sank is their symbol.
I'll just tell you one small story of how Naveen Patnaik manages things. So Odisha is a place which gets a lot of disasters every year. And it's increasing with climate change, like cyclones all the time.
Every year.
Now, Naveen Patnaik, I think he's also a very masterful person who can manage the bureaucracy well. He knows how to pull their strings so that they work in a particular way. Right? What he did was that he has developed this entire system that if a massive cyclone comes to Orissa, he will evacuate the entire coast in 48 hours.
Okay.
And his time of evacuation has been reducing more and more and more. And every time a cyclone happens,
he becomes a master of all
exactly. And people are like, essentially, every time a cyclone happens, it's actually good for him then. Because later, people are like, "Arey, hamari jaan to inne nahi bachayi thi." So, if it happens before the election, they're like, "Arey, great, we are winning this one also."
The frequency of all this disaster management is quite regular.
Very regular.
So he become a master, and most important thing is the intent. Intent is very clear to him. He works for the people.
Yeah.
And people gives him the thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's, as he said, he's not very show-offy also.
Right.
He just does his work quietly.
Yeah.
He's just a quiet man in general, and he just does his thing. And
he doesn't even speak Orissa fluently.
Yeah.
Because he's been educated in London.
Yeah.
So that is how it is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't meet any people, party man or otherwise, after 6 o'clock. So he's a private man also.
Yeah.
Can I ask a slightly controversial question? How does one maintain the objectivity in a undertaking like this? Like, I'm sure every person has their biases, even for you, those who are going on ground.
Very important question. That's very important question. So that is also a part of our training, including me. We call it कि आप अपना मीटर जो है ना टैक्सी का मीटर जैसे होता है उसको 0 पे कर लो भैया. यदि जरा सा भी इधर और उधर रहेगा तो आप भी खत्म हो जाओगे और कंपनी भी खत्म हो जाएगी. So you do not have any choice but to be unbiased.
Can you tell our audiences and us also, like, what do you do to make this meter 0? Like, is there anything specific?
Meter 0 meaning you should not have any vested interest, whether tangible, intangible, mental, in whatever ways. And while selecting, that's very important, critical part of our business, selecting the right team member. So if person doesn't know who is that tall leader, he is the most right person for us.
Precisely.
Right.
He is the most right person for us. So we make sure that person has nothing to do with the politics.
Okay.
As long as he can interview whatever they say, he record it and we process it. At processing also, see, processing is also very critical because their chances are, until unless intentionally you want to do on the ground, then you will be doing. Otherwise, whatever person is saying, you have to record it.
Yeah.
Okay. But in analysis, while data correcting, we call it discounting and factoring, cleaning. That is when the bias plays in the mind कि अरे ये तो ऐसा है ज़्यादा publicity. तो हम लोग शुरू के जो election के exit poll release के 15 days पहले से TV देखना है और न्यूज़ चैनल को बंद कर देता है.
That's amazing. That should be done
वो
all the time.
Loudly जो बोल रहा होगा वो सही नहीं होता ना कि 10 लोगों में एक तो loudly बोलता है. Even same goes on the ground.
Right.
कि एक बंदा जो बहुत तेज बोलता है, who remains at least 4-5 days 10 days तक तो उसका दिमाग के अंदर घूमते रहता है. तो हमको लगता है ऐसे कि नहीं यही सच चल रहा है, और जिसने चुपचाप क्वाइटली बोल दिया है वो माइंड में रहता ही नहीं है. सो उसको वहाँ से एलिमिनेट करना इज द की.
Yeah. I just realized who would be the best person to interview in cases like this. Like, the people who interview, South Bombay people. Just put them, you should employ South Bombay people now.
उनके दिमाग में क्वेश्चन ही नहीं, रोटी कपड़े वाला क्वेश्चन ही नहीं आएगा.
नहीं, वो मिलिट्री में नहीं जा सकते.
That's very true.
This video will get like all dislikes from South Bombay people.
It's okay, guys. I'm going back to Delhi next week, so you can deal with it.
They are majority wins the race.
Yeah,
in election.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are talking about election.
Yeah.
The subject is election.
So one more follow-up question. So then is there any, I mean, you must be facing, I don't want to say pressure, but offers from political parties कि हमको अच्छी light में दिखा दो. And
होता है, but that's the precisely we are not doing opinion poll.
Right.
So we do ourselves for our purpose, but we don't release it.
Okay.
Because we don't want this kind of political pressure, this, that, you know. जीतता हुआ तो एक ही दिखेगा ना, पार्टी तो 3-4 है तो दुश्मन भी बन
But
जाता
Pradeep,
है, दुश्मन भी बन जाते हैं.
realistically speaking also, like I've worked with many political parties and you know, they also want to know realistically
they
kya
will.
ho raha hai, because
Yeah.
they also will take decisions based
Course
on
correction,
that.
they can do
Course
course
correction.
correction. Yeah.
So internally they also do surveys.
Yes.
Which is the party that does the best surveys right now?
नहीं, सर्वे सभी करते हैं. बेस्ट तो क्या होता है, सर्वे तो सर्वे ही होता है, बट ये है कि कौन ज़्यादा नंबर ऑफ सर्वेस करता है या कौन ज़्यादा सर्वेस को बिलीव करता है या तवज्जो देता है इन देयर डिसीजन मेकिंग. So of course, ruling party does it well. Does it
But
well.
do political parties also employ your organization
Yes,
for
they
this?
do.
They do.
We
Okay.
work for almost all the parties.
Oh, okay. And then
But
you do service.
in the one election, one party. I mean, एक
Of
वकील दो
course.
केस नहीं ले सकता.
ऐसे थोड़ी करोगे. Like that will be weird and ridiculous. But so
कभी गलत फाइल चली गई दूसरी पार्टी को तो सब खत्म.
sorry, that's so funny. But so your clients are in the case of politics and elections are news channels and
News channel and political parties. And
parties.
sometime individual also.
individuals also. Or matlab MLAs, MPs or
I mean,
candidates or something.
Aspirant sometime.
Ha, ha,
They
ha.
want to, you know, really learn how to win.
Yes.
So-
That
so-
that
so
absolutely
They
makes
come
sense.
with that thing in mind, and particularly South Bombay.
Of course.
They come because they doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
They come with a clean slate mind,
Yeah.
clean slate mind, and they simply say, "We want to win the
और
election."
फिर
Now you suggest.
और फिर प्रदीप सर उसको एक टैबलेट पकड़ा देते हैं और बोले चल निकल यहाँ से चल इंटरव्यू पे लग जा तू.
Interview and try to understand people's problem, because who are you?
Yes.
Who you are want to be?
Yeah.
You're public representative,
Right.
na? Neta is who?
Absolutely, public.
So until and unless you understand their language, their culture, their needs, their likes, their dislikes, what are you representing for?
Sure.
So you need to first be with them, understand them, connect with them, and then you can seek their vote.
Absolutely.
Right? Then you are likely to get it. You come once in a blue moon, then where is the question?
Yeah.
Where is the
Like,
question? Those days are over.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a wonderful episode. We are out of time. Thank you, Pradeep sir, and thank you, Access My India, for doing this with us. I really hope next time you have. Do you need a bigger sample size?
Not exactly. We
अभी
do
satisfied है
educate,
satisfied
Yeah.
7.5 लाख लोग हैं अभी chill है सब. I think we will see Pradeep sir dance again. I
So
think.
is Pradeep sir what they call a cephalogist?
Are you a cephalogist?
Yes, you need to first understand what is cephalogist.
Yeah, it's
Please,
what I've been
I
trying
think
to
that's
understand.
important.
So cephalogist is the how it has come. Construct is cephalogy is the psychology plus sociology.
Okay.
How human mind works under different circumstances.
But that is a data element to it.
Of course, the data is the information. Data is nothing but the information. How different minds are working. How different human beings are making different decisions.
Wait, so not data. There is a survey element to it then?
Survey is your
To collect
see,
data.
your-
So it's-
no,
I'm
no,
running
no,
around in
again,
circles.
Again, you misunderstanding.
Yes.
See, data is very. I mean, the use terminology data is nowadays very loosely used.
I know. Yeah.
It is the information is the right word.
Right.
You need to have the proper information about different demography, different geography, how they are thinking. They are trying to understand their needs,
Sure.
their problem, their issues. So they are reacting when it comes to the voting day.
Sure.
So we need to understand all this. So this is what is psychology of a human being which is the social element.
Interesting. So he is a cephalogist.
Yes.
Yes. Unlike some other people who claim to be. But I know who you are talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, we all know who you are talking about.
Because
but
that's the
anyway.
only person under whom it said cephalogist. So.
But let's not diss them. Thank you so much, Abbas, for joining
pleasure.
in. Thank you so much,
My
Pradeep.
pleasure. Thank you very
I
much
hope you
for having
enjoyed
me here.
yourself.
Of course, I always enjoy election talk.
Yes. When is your next?
Gujarat, Himachal.
What day? When
Day
is it?
is most election dates are not yet announced, but it should be in the first week of December.
First week of December, we will see Pradeep dancing again. We will see Abbas in front of the TV watching Pradeep
Yes.
dance, and I will be too. You watch him as well. Please follow Access My India. Anywhere you want to plug?
Mostly India Today group we are associated
Yes.
with. So India Today and Aaj Tak channel, you
Right.
can
Watch.
watch Access My India
Access My
exit
India.
poll predictions.
Yes, and Rajdeep Sardesai, they are Access My India, not My Access India. Please. Thank you, Abbas. Thank you,
Thank
Pradeep.
you. Thank
I
you.
will see you next week. Follow us on Instagram. And follow Abbas on Instagram.
Yeah, you can follow me at Abbas Momin on Twitter and Abbas Momin 88 on Instagram, and check out my podcast called Has It Aged Well on the IVM Pop channel.
Yes, I am on Meghnad S on Instagram and me Meghnad on Twitter. Also, please listen to all the podcasts that we are doing on different audio channels. And also, if you are listening to this, please watch it on YouTube. A lot of people, I think, commented that they don't know we have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So, other than audio, we are also on video. You can see Pradeep sir
Not dancing, but
not dancing,
explaining.
but explaining like he's 10 years old. So please watch us on our YouTube channel and subscribe. I will see you next week. Thank you.